Okay, hello. Here we are again on the fifth video of this series on the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. And once again, this is for educational purposes only. This is not legal advice. I am not a lawyer or an attorney, nor do I want to be one. So it is your responsibility to learn the law and to know the law and to understand what it means. So that's why we're going over this a little bit with my opinion. So this section 1692D, harassment or abuse. A debt collector may not engage in any conduct the natural consequence of which is to harass, oppress, or abuse any person in connection with the collection of a debt. Without limiting the general application of the foregoing, the following conduct is a violation of this section. So that means without limiting the general application of the foregoing, that first paragraph there says a lot. And if something doesn't fit into the numbered sections below, if it fits into the first paragraph above, then it is still considered harassment or abuse. Okay, the following conduct is a violation of this section. 1. The use or threat of use of violence or other criminal means to harm the physical person, reputation, or property of any person. And, that's pretty self-explanatory. If they make any kind of threats of any kind of violence or of any sort of harm, threatening anything to tell our neighbors or anything else, it's a violation. 2. The use of obscene or profane language or language the natural consequence of which is to abuse the hearer or reader. So anything that is said that is mean, nasty, obscene, profane, foul, any name calling, anything like that is it's a violation of the FDCPA, and you can sue them for $1,000 per violation. 3. The publication of a list of consumers who allegedly refuse to pay debts except to a consumer reporting agency or to persons meeting the requirements of Section 603F or 6043 of this Act, and those are the FTC code for this Act, which is Title 15, Section 1692, and those sections, 1681AF and 1681B3, actually refer to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and those refer to people who would use permissible pulls of credit, and people who have a reason, a lawful reason, to be having that consumer reporting information from the credit bureaus. 4. The advertisement for sale of any debt to coerce payment of the debt. So any threat, advertisement, of course, is going to be putting it out there for everybody to see, and if they do that, or if that's another threat to your reputation, to your property, then it's a violation. Number 5, causing a telephone to ring or engaging any person in telephone conversation repeatedly or continuously with intent to annoy, abuse, or harass any person at the called number. So there again, if they call several times a day, several times a week, it's abuse. Every time they call, it can be a violation. I think they might be allowed to call once a week, and that's it. Unless you specifically tell them that you do not want them to call, and if you tell them that, you're in your right, but you need to document something, so you actually need to send them a letter that says "do not call," and then you have a documented proof. But anyway, back to the point: if they call continuously to annoy or abuse or harass. That's a violation. Every call can be $1,000. Number 6, except as provided in Section 804, which would be Section 1692B, which relates to the second video that we did about location information. The placement of telephone calls without meaningful disclosure of the caller's identity. And if you remember, in that section, they needed to specifically identify themselves. Identify himself, state that he is confirming or correcting location information concerning the consumer, and only if expressly requested, identify his employer. So, except as provided in Section 1692B, the placement of telephone calls without meaningful disclosure of the caller's identity. So if they call, they leave messages without any information, they call and hang up, that could be $1,000 for every call, because every call is a violation. Anyway, that concludes this section. Once again, this is not legal advice. This is for educational purposes only. And if you'd like more information, go to my website, badcreditforyou.com. There's a link in the description box below. If you'll click on that and go to my website, there's a whole bunch of other information there, and you can get signed up for a free webinar and learn how to get on to the weekly call, where you will learn and hear about people who are doing this on a regular basis, and people who are regularly getting $1,000 to $3,000 and more on lawsuits against these debt collectors, and they're just having a lot of fun doing it. So anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next video.